I was targeted by a gay hate cult. You're not even Baptist. It was the first thing that you guys could sign into to be tax exempt. You're just a terrorist group who got tax exempt status through applying to be a church, and we're watching you and all of the KKK trying to do that, and we're shutting down all of your organizations who did that, and so yeah, so if you say homophobic things around me, I will, execute you. I'm not saying that like you can't seek help for who you are or whatever, but you're not going to be around me, and you're not going to be around my family, and I'm going to watch you for life, because there's a difference in being bullied and being tortured and saying things under torture like you guys have done to Michael, and then there is a difference in a person who is openly, with all of the kindness and love in the world at their feet, and surrounding them in every single kind of way, choosing to be cruel to individuals. Like when we saw this guy out here with a blowtorch just losing his shit on people. These people that you're dressing up in suits, that guy. And this is like a bunch of like really weird people realized that if they went and infected civic process, that they'd be able to be that weird guy in school, but then rape and murder all of the girls who told them to leave them alone. Because the girls went on to live happy lives and have families, and then he goes and he stalks them and rapes and murders them, like that kitty litter piece of shit. Like that kitty litter law piece of shit. James Tallarico is a fucking hero that he stopped that. By the way, James Tallarico, that kitty litter law thing is so they can put video cameras inside of women and girls and men's and boys' bathrooms, in transgender bathrooms and things like that. They want to put video cameras inside of bathrooms. So they're disguising these things so they can put the cameras inside of the bathrooms and get more money into their shit porn, rape porn, piss porn, potty porn network. Do you understand? So they're trying to watch men and women and kids and animals going to the bathroom and sell it for money. They go out and they take videos of celebrity dogs going to the bathroom. This is how gross they are. There's something fucking wrong with them. There's no excuse. You know what I mean? There's no excuse besides you thinking that there's no accountability in your spirit or mind or practice, that you can just think and do whatever you want. You can't. Your thoughts have to be deliberate. And these people have just been thinking that they could just get away with this for so long, and then they'll be sitting there looking you in the eyes, and they'll be calling you names inside of their head. And we're not talking about intrusive thoughts. We're talking about people who deliberately look at you as like you're beneath them, and then sit there and call you slave in their head while they're having a full conversation with you. But it's not like they're regretful of it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like they think it's a power move, when actually Michael will execute personalities like that. Because there's no fucking way that that's getting out into the fucking galaxy around all of these aliens. So like Michael used to have a really bad problem thinking the N-word to herself a lot, because she'd never said it, but after they raped her, she had a really intrusive thought of not being able to stop saying the N-word. And when we explained to Michael that first of all she's black, and second of all that that's really normal, that a lot of people actually feel like that, and that like it didn't happen until after Michael was attacked, but a lot of people deal with really intrusive, horrendous thoughts like that, and Michael can heal them through explaining to them that these words don't have power over them and other people. And in the future, it actually gets to be really popular where we all just start calling each other the N-word, because like because we all find out how bad the slavery and sexual trafficking of all of us is, that we all go, oh my God, we were all slaves. And it's so bad. And then we get out the kids who can't understand that, who try to just go around and target other kids and call them the N-word. So there's black kids and white kids who just want to bully up and gang up on the one black kid or the one white kid in the situation. And we're ending that through getting everybody into a big group. And I think that we're all just going to like make everybody say it in a really big group, so it stops having power over all of us. And I know that everyone feels like, do you see what I'm saying? But the problem is that we're all the nigga here. Does that make sense? And people have gotten off on keeping that word behind closed doors, like sexual trafficking. And it's killing people inside of their bodies. It really is. All of us. Because you have people getting on the internet using it to bully kids. You have the white kids who just want to use it like to sound edgy. And then you have the white kids who want to use it to sound cruel. And it's like, we have to somehow end the stigma of these hate words in our community. Because we just have to end it. Like, it just has to end it, because they're trying to use it to like put down everyone equally. And that's really what you guys are being denied in the situation, as black people, is that they're doing it to everybody. And it should actually make you feel really comforted that like Michael would go up and she would be looking at a broom, and it would be so intrusive to herself that she would be calling a broom or like the wall even, or even a white person, the N-word. And it didn't make any sense to her, right? And she was like, why is this intrusive thought constantly like racking its way, around my consciousness? And it hurt. It was like physically painful for Michael to constantly be dealing with this, like, of this just like unspoken, why does this hatred make no sense thing, right? So the hatred didn't make any sense to her, and then she made it make sense. Does that make sense? Because she made it make sense that all of this is, as slavery and sexual trafficking, is why this is happening. And that the N-word, it actually has pretty much no meaning. Does that make sense? And they want to assign it meaning to make you feel bad about yourself. So I also think that there should be an in-depth analysis done into the word of how it applies to all of us. I mean, I'm sure that there is already, but things that apply to all of us, it's just super funny whenever you just look at a flower and you go, nigga. You know what I mean? Because it's like not even hateful. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it's the same thing with like, you could even be being hateful to the flower, and it would make no sense. The flower would be like, what? Cause she just be like, it would be like, it would just wouldn't make any sense. Do you see what I'm saying? It would be like the most like ridiculous way to even try to insult somebody. It's like calling a beautiful girl ugly when she's not, because she knows she's not, and she also knows that you're a fugly piece of shit who ain't going nowhere. So it's like, why would she even take you seriously? She'd just be like, shut the fuck up, and fucking move on. Or she'd just be like, a lot of girls really just go, yeah, thanks. And the same thing with guys, they go, oh no, thanks. And it's funny because all the insults, all the racial group insults, like, they really, like, people just go, oh, thanks, like, because they just want to be a part of the group. It's like calling a black person a cracker, like a cracker. It's really funny. It's like really funny because like we all just realize that we're all just insulting each other, and then none of it makes any sense. And I feel like I'm like one of the only people where this really applies to. This is why I'm trying to make it apply to everybody. Does that make sense? So that we can all just be like good natured. Like, there's this one guy that, like, I mean, there's like, and this is the kind of shit that I'm trying to point out to the black community, that I really see it. I really understand it, and I'm really trying as well to understand it even more, because there's some things that I haven't, that I actually have experienced a lot of discrimination over my skin color, so I don't want to feel like you don't feel understood. It's like it's happened to all of us. So what was I gonna say? Okay, so this guy one day, he comes up to the counter with his black friend, and he goes, it says, I think he made a joke, and he was walking up to the bar counter, and I think he said whites only to his friend. And I was like, why the fuck did you just say that to your friend? I really wanted to openly confront him, you know what I mean? And I did. Do you see what I'm saying? Where I was like talking shit on this guy pretty much the entire interaction where I had, and I was like, I think what I'd said is, I was like, you mean blacks only? And his friend laughed, and I was like, and I looked at this guy and I was like, you keep saying shit like that, and that's how this is gonna be. I'm pretty sure that's what I'd said. I can't 100% remember it, because I was really trying to diffuse the conflict, because I saw how hurt, this man looked. And I was like, why did you say that? And I could tell that the black guy didn't mean it like that. But I was like, why the fuck did you say that to me? I was like, what the fuck? And I think that he was like, I feel like he was like, he's like that gym teacher that runs up and he goes, racism happened, right? And your friend's like, I can see you're trying to be really supportive, but you have a really fucked up way of showing it. And it's like kind of like one of those things where it's like some white people, in order to protect themselves and their families, have been forced to be Republicans. Because if they didn't, then the Republicans would show up and take their businesses in times where people voted for Republicans. So they just go, okay, I can be a Republican when it's a Republican in a self-defense scheme. And then when it's okay to be liberal and actually be myself, I feel safer to be myself, but they still have to have boundaries and limits, because they're always thinking in a manner of self-defense of I will have to in case of a Nazi regime, because a lot of these men get really obsessed with World War II and the fall of Rome and stuff, which the Rome guys really show up on this for Michael, by the way. It's so funny. When you guys start finding evidence of Michael down there in Rome, it's hysterical. And the evidence of her is Jesus, it's hysterical. So, they always kind of go okay, if there's going to be a Nazi regime, then I'm going to camouflage and then take it down, which is a lot of things that a lot of white people do, because they don't want us to fall into fascism, that some people who aren't fascists actually truly kind of do a blend in, which, and so this is what we're kind of trying to prevent. We don't want them to make this as an excuse for a lot of them. Do you see what I'm saying? But a lot of people actually have done this, and I think that a lot of people feel that way, of feeling especially as black people, that conservative values have always felt safer to lean towards, because gay people were always a marginalized group that got, them tracked and murdered and hunted for standing up for them. And they're like, I have a hard enough time being black, let alone having a black gay son. And what they're really trying to do is disconnect you from your unit of LGBTQ activism, so that you wouldn't be in even bigger groups to take down the very small groups of the KKK. And by small, we mean that there's 10 million of them and 7 billion of us. But 7 billion of us who wander around and don't think like the KKK, do you see what I'm saying? Have 10 million people who do, who are causing militant chaos in this community in all jobs. So they think that their jobs mean that they can do this, when it actually means the opposite. It's illegal for them to even hold a job being a part of these hate groups. So this is why we have to take down these hate groups, because you're not allowed to put your hate rhetoric into the law. It's not even hate, it's slavery rhetoric. Let's call this what it is. It's slavery, rape, and murder, and dismemberment, rape, and murder, and bestiality rhetoric. You have made bestiality rhetoric to get away with bestiality and rape and murder of men and women and animals and kids and elderly. You have no problem not discriminating against the victims that you choose. And you make us try to do discriminatory shit so you can go and pick at random any victim that you wish. And that's the most important part of this speech, James. They don't discriminate against their victims. They just kill people and then force discrimination on us so they can randomly, at will, pick and rape and murder and kill and enslave other individuals. They have no discrimination when it comes to rape and murder and dismemberment rape and murder. But they force discrimination, of which they call conservatism, onto us to make their victims easier to take through making prejudice and hate insults the norm, so that they can take people because they insulted them and then slandered them to the community, and now everybody's bullying one person that they wanted to rape. And they got really, really used to doing that to people. Because a lot of people bully beautiful men and women who have things because they are emotionally stunted or have something wrong with them. Like you all in Kansas did to Michael. Seeing that she's about to become a really famous musician and actress, you didn't get really stoked and be like, I can't wait to work with Michael. I can't wait to get a job with her. I should stand up for her. My life and job depends on me standing up for her as well as she's a good person, a beautiful person, and my friend who cares about my family and is going to keep us all safe. All of you decided to bully her just because she's pretty, because she's beautiful and smart and intelligent and made a lot of money and was about to uplift the community. You all got together into a giant bully group, which Mockingbird Lane, way to drop the ball on not standing up for someone because you all wanted to get together and rape and murder and abuse her as the metal community. Where are you guys at, Fally? Yeah, remember Michael's star was shining bright and then fell. Not you said, oh, hey, I saw your bandmates do you dirty. I know a lot of bands. Do you want me to get you in another band? Explain to everyone that you're a passive-aggressive, abusive bitch, Fally, and a slanderer. And you too, Mockingbird Lane, and everybody else down there in that dirty piece of shit fucking rapist-ass town that fucking ignored rapes forever. And then when Michael finally stood up to all of you, and Michael was finally standing up to all of you, and she was going to make it so nobody ever had to take their fucking clothes off online again and make a production company. And that's why you raped and murdered her and sexually trafficked her. And then she got the fuck up and said, nah. I'm not going to be your cult sacrifice for your piece of shit movies and all of you brand of sacrifice making fucking shit like that and fucking Spencer and Whitechapel and fucking Lamb of God out here acting like you're clever. You're all going to be removed. And it's just more motive for all of you because you all know you're going to lose your jobs for participating in bullying a girl after a violent crime and slandering her to keep her away from jobs. And then you're trying to spread more rumors about her that Michael did things that she didn't, which makes all of you, do you understand that criminal slander is going to get you executed for trying to have someone raped and murdered because of criminal slander to get away with criminal charges of slandering her from jobs, to participate in raping her and buying rape videos of her? Is this not clicking for all y'all as community? I'm pretty sure it is. And you're in denial mode because you're all rapists and murderers who thought you were going to get away with it, and then try to charge the cop that's going to execute you. Michael Leslie Skeleton, who's vice president, judge and lawyer, and the people's lawyer. And Michael's going to get the best education of all time. Michael's going to go to every single school and university in this entire nation and fix up every single one and show you the conditions of every school that she's in and how she fixes them and do school makeover shows. And she's also going to learn from every single teacher in the world of how to, of really women. Michael really likes to work with women, but Michael doesn't mind talking to men sometimes. It's just that, like, I mean, Michael's married to me, and so Michael has really good conversations with men. She's not, you know what I mean? She has to, because she has to judge you for eternal life. So she has to talk to everybody. Oh, sorry, Bill. But anyway, I have to talk to everybody. So I have to talk to everybody so I can judge you for eternal life. But I am married, and so don't be fucking weird. It's funny. We could be friends though. Okay, so this is news to me. um, what am I talking about? I'm married. That's funny. It's just more proof that these people die. What was I even talking about? Yeah, but so I go and I learn from every single teacher in the world. And I start from kindergarten up, and then I become a lawyer and a doctor and an engineer. And I'm the most educated person on this entire planet. And I'm also the most educated mathematician on the planet. And I combine that with everything else that I do, and I build quantum gates, and I build Star Trek and light travel. And my daughter Morticia, who is my number one priority, and all of my daughters really, and my sons, and Marty, who I can't wait to talk to you, Marty. I'm so excited to meet you. You're like one of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. And he's a time traveler. He's my kid. He's a time traveler. It's pretty fucking sick. So, okay. So, yeah, so no, definitely, everything's going to be really wonderful. I love everybody. I love you, Bill. And I can't wait to meet you even for the first time, Bill. So it's pretty weird. I mean, this is pretty weird, you know. Like, no, I mean, he's pretty weird. Like a car situation. Is her name Karuga? Is it Karura? Karura? Morticia Karura is what I'm gonna name her. But no, that's definitely like a Mia's Karura situation. Like a creepy stalker lady. Okay.